And we're continuing our GenCon coverage. I'm here at Greenbrier's Games booth, and I'm here also with Gordon, the designer of Vengeance. There's a lot of hype at this game. There still is, actually, and he's going to explain why. How you doing, first of all?
Hey,
doing good?
Great GenCon. Yeah.
Awesome. You having fun at GenCon?
Yeah, it's my first time.
This is your first time?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome. And today's going to be your busiest day because it's Saturday.
It seems like it, yeah.
Can you give us a quick overview of Vengeance, please?
Sure, man. So Vengeance is a board game adaptation of revenge movies like Kill Bill, Old Boy, my favorite, and John Wick, and that kind of thing. And like in those movies, you play a hero that's been wronged by one of the bosses here. You've been given a bike dragging by Prez, a crushed knee by Banda Boy, and bashing by Sisyphus. All bad stuff. And the aim of the game is to find the bosses that wronged you. They're hiding, they're cowering in their dens right here. All right, here's Banda Boy. You gotta find them and get to them, kill them before the other players, who they've done bad shit to as well, get to them. Yeah?
That's my style of game right here, guys.
So, the game follows the structure of a movie, roughly. You start off with the wronging, the prelude. It's a card draft which establishes who's done what to you, and that establishes the strategy of the game. Because you get your victory points in the game by killing the bosses and clearing dens with the minions on them. So, next...
I just want to be sure, is this a co-op? Are you going together to kill the boss?
No, you want to get satisfaction before the other guys.
Even better.
What's the point?
What's the point? Fair enough.
Right? So, typically in these kind of games, in the games we've seen, like people do help each other out, you know, because they're bastards.
Yeah, it's still us versus them, but you want to be the guy to kill them.
Mechanically, it's competitive. It's who gets the most victory points first. It follows the structure of a montage, which is your typical Rocky, Eye of the Tiger, training, healing, and going out to recon. And then the heart of the game, which is the combat. And the combat is basically a dice-based puzzle where you enter the den once you find, let's say, you're matching. Let's say Prez gave you a bike dragging. Prez is the big boss of the Hell Riders, which is a biker gang, and he spawns here. And we have his minions in his den, and we have 3 rolls of your complement of 5 dice, in this case 4, and 3 minutes to clear the den.
Okay, so there's even, that's awesome, there's even a timer in there, okay.
So, you roll the dice, this indicates that the enemies activate, that goes at the end. Now you can order your actions in any way you want, and trigger these abilities here. You start off with just one, which gives flavor to each character. They all have different abilities. Okay. Then you want to make combos. For example, and this character can turn a move which allows her to move one zone into a hit instead, killing somebody. But if she has 2 hits, then she can do 3. She can discard those and do 3 shots, which hits 3 people in adjacent zones.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so that's how the luck mitigation works. Is depending on how you make your character with attributes.
And some of the abilities are for pure luck mitigation. So you exchange one thing into another.
Beautiful.
Or you can build a character which is more safe and can control situation. Or you can build one which creates a set of combos.
That's okay. Our mic picks it up. Yeah.
Cool. A set of combos that makes your particular thing more powerful.
Okay.
But less broad, more deep. Let's see what happened here. So she jumped in here. It takes 1 hit to kill one of these guys. Very simple. We have 2 hits. We can do that or do 3 damage. So we can kill these 2 instead, for example, by turning this into that ability.
Right.
This allows us to hit somebody in an adjacent zone, but not the one we're in.
Right.
This is 2 hits on the same character, not on different ones, unless I have, there's a ability called Reverse Blade, which allows me to split, and so on.
Okay, very cool.
Then they each have a different ability. The ability of the grunt is to be shot first. So if we have a grunt in this room, I can't shoot the boss until I kill the grunt. Because that's what their job is.
Yes,
they die.
Of course.
Right?
Cannon fodder.
They're the first guys who run in and the blocker doesn't allow me to move out, so I can't use the move to get out of here until I kill them. The gunmen shoot any adjacent zone, but not the one they're in. And then the tough guy, you need to do 2 hits at once to kill him, like this. And the red ones with the red rings are gang-specific henchmen and bosses, and those each have a different power.
Right here.
And that gives them their flavor. So these guys, the bikers, they have higher health, and they reduce a die from you for the next round if they hit you. The Tengokai, which are like a Yakuza-like gang, they do 2 damage. The lords activate before you. So you don't want to be in the den with lots of lords,
gang members.
Okay? So that's basically how the game works. You have these 3 rounds, you want to kill them, and then if you score the boss, you score the topmost victory point. If you have 2 of the same boss played, not in hand, you score 4 and so on, because he's done both a bashing and gave you a bad trip.
Okay.
What a douche. And of course, you can either play these and take their damage, but then everyone knows who you're going for and they'll try and block you or go in first.
Right.
Or you keep them to your hand, play them just before you go in, but then you take the damage on your character before you go in. And when you take damage, you block, you start covering your these numbers, which are your effectiveness, essentially.
So you start becoming less effective.
Exactly. So this is how many red fight dice you roll. This is how many white montage dice you roll. The white montage dice, the montage works this way.
Right.
You have these dice that you roll your complement of. Everyone rolls in a pool. Then you draft one.
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting mechanic.
So there's a different economy every time. And that is balanced by the cards. You have 6 cards in your hand, and you place them as you like in these slots here. And these dice boost those actions. So I get 2, 3, 4, 5 heals. I get 3 ability points, and so on. You have different kinds of these. The ones with high levels of the actual ability on the right will have low speed, as we see here.
Yeah.
And speed determines the player order.
Player order.
Why does that matter? They get first dibs on the combos, which are important. And when you don't kill a boss, like let's say I come in here and I don't kill the boss, which is likely because it's a tough den, I reset the den, the boss stays face up. Now other people who have that boss can come in and attack him.
Okay.
So if you don't manage to off the boss, then you're making it easier for
opportunities for other players. Okay, very cool.
The other way to make victory points are missions, which you score at the end of the game.
Here?
Yeah, so the white ones are end of game missions. For example, the Kill 'em All requires you, gives you extra victory points to the player who has the most bosses of the same gang. Okay. So they focus on one gang and just demolish them. Overachiever gives you points for having the most achievements, which are these things here. Achievements you gain immediately. For example, Immaculate. You come in, you kill the boss, get out, no damage.
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay, and so on. That's it for the multiplayer game, and it's worth mentioning that the game has different solo campaign or solo mission, to make it clearer, for each character. You have a story, and that story is reflected in the setup. For example, Shadowman is the simplest and easiest. Kaja is one of the harder. He has to go after Roxy Queen, the big boss of the Lords gang, and so you set up only the Lords.
Okay.
And it tells you what you need to do on the back of their card. So this then tells you your objectives, and he only has 2. And one of them is always that you get out with few stress on your mind track. Even in the game, you get penalized for having too much stress. Okay. Because the idea is to get revenge without becoming one of these douches.
One of these guys. Beautiful. Listen, we got a very quick overview here. That was really, really good. We do have a review copy for you guys at Bored to Death. We're going to be reviewing this game real soon, so stay tuned. Gordon, thank you very much.
Pleasure, man.
It's always a pleasure to seeing you.
Yeah.
Subscribe now to our channel to stay in the loop. If you like our work, help us continue by sharing the channel to your gaming group. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.